Hi, everybody. It is January the 10th, 2020. My name is Sarah Elise. I am an astrologer. I live in Toronto, Canada. And today I am putting out a video on our full moon and our eclipse in Cancer, which is happening in just a few hours. This video will be for my newsletter community and also for Deborah Silverman's online community, where I am a featured astrologer this month. So hi, it's nice to meet you all my new people out there. The first thing I wanted to do before I get started on talking about the eclipse and the full moon was just to introduce you to this newcomer to my home. This beautiful mandala was created for me by a woman in Estonia, and she runs a company called Jandala Art, where she makes these custom-made incredible mandalas. I think it was like 16 or 18 hours to create this for me. It's all pixelated, tiny, tiny, tiny little dots. She pours her soul into them. And when I found her and met her, I knew immediately I wanted her to create something for me. So I waited patiently, and she has arrived. So I wanted to introduce you to her. She's going to find a beautiful space to live in my studio, but right now she's here in front of my fireplace. So I'm really happy. She kind of speaks to me of the meaning of our current, I don't know, our current environment right now. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into. This is literally the third video I have recorded about this day. And I don't know why I keep having a hard time. I keep having to go back and record it again. Because I'm not quite hitting it. And I'm just not being really honest, I think. I'm trying to say things in ways that I think people will like to hear, but I'm not really being super direct. And so I'm gonna try and do this again. And just kind of use my own language, because what the hell, right? I am what I am, and I have my own perspective for a reason, so I'm going to share it with you. Okay. What I'm finding really interesting right now, there's two things I'm going to talk about. First, I'm going to discuss this alignment between Pluto, Saturn, and all of the Capricorn stellium that's happening right now. And next, I'm going to go into the feminine energy of the Cancer full moon and the Cancer eclipse that's happening. And I'm going to talk about that, okay? But I first want to talk about kind of the esoteric meaning of what's going on, the actual real truth of what we're being called to right now as a collective and individually with the Saturn-Pluto alignment. And it's coming exact degree on Sunday. So it's very, very close. It's been exact degree all week, but it's hitting absolute perfect alignment on Sunday. Okay, so I found it fascinating, just fascinating, when I learned that the last time Pluto and Saturn came together was at the beginning of the Protestant Reformation, when Martin Luther nailed his treatise to the door of the Catholic Church and said, "This is not right. The Catholic Church and the Pope does not have a right to charge us for the honor of being redeemed." So in other words, you cannot buy redemption. You cannot buy God's love. You cannot be declared holy and have all of your sins just disappear if you open your pocketbook and pay some money. And when Martin Luther came out, and it wasn't just Martin Luther, clearly he was a philosopher, he was an ordained minister, whatever. He was one voice amongst many. I mean, it started a movement, right? A huge movement on the planet in the 1500s that changed the way we look at religion. Because up until that point, I mean, it had been 1500 years of growth, of building the Catholic monolithic Western, civilization, so to speak. So this was he was just one, but he was the loudest one who goes down in history. But essentially what was happening is, our dance with the divine has been with us since the beginning of time, right? Because our dance with the divine is part of our human nature and part of reality. We are souls who come into bodies. We are spiritual and mundane at the same time, right? And us trying to articulate this connection and trying to make contact with this part of us, or whatever it is that we think of as divinity or God, this is our journey. This is part of our quest. This is our mythic birthright, right? This is what we're here for, is essentially to go back to God. And at these moments where Pluto and Saturn come together, I feel like there's this opportunity that happens where we look at the structures that we've built to keep us safe in society, which is Saturn and Capricorn, and Pluto and Capricorn, right? We're looking at the structures that we have built and the places that we have given away our power, the structures of authority, Capricorn, that we have created, that we look to as though they are the light, okay? So it's like these false gods, right? So, you know, the Pope and the indulgences and the whole ethos of the Catholic system in the 1500s was we created a false god where we funneled our power in to that rather than directly to source. And so the Protestant Reformation said, no, only God has the power to redeem. You have to go straight to source. That is the true authority. And I feel like that's the exact same lesson that we're getting right now in a slightly different way. But, you know, we look at the structures that we've built up in our society that we create as gods. We create money as God, right? The politician is God. You know, all of these systems and these authority figures who we think of or who we have been trained to think of as infallible. They're not infallible. They're imperfect. They're just made up of human beings like us, and the human beings that are driven by their own self-interest as well, by their own greed and self-interest. You know, like on a planet where in the last year, in 2019, I was reading this on Bloomberg News or something. Anyway, I don't know. It was like some kind of like a Bloomberg Wealth Billionaires Index, and they were talking about how the top 500 people on the planet, who are the richest people on the planet, have increased their wealth in 1 year by 25%, by more than $1 trillion. More than $1 trillion for 500 people. It's insane. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's unbelievable. And the fact that our planet is that the environment is so compromised. Species are going extinct. The polar ice caps are melting. You know, the Great Barrier Reef is bleaching. Australia's on fire. We've got droughts all over the world. The climate is clearly changing. All of the scientific consensus is out there saying that if we don't do something immediately, we're going to go into a serious drop, a very, very quick decline. This is the reality. But yet, what do the politicians do? What do the people who are in power do? They do nothing. So it's like on all levels of society, the power structures are crumbling. And yet here we stand again on the precipice of a third world war. Why? Because he who is in power, those structures that be in power, the source of power has said that there is insider information that requires us to act in this way in order to protect. You know, it's like, well, anyway, I don't need to say anything about it at all. It just is what it is. We're seeing it for what it is, right? It's like this conflagration of stress and just total chaos as the things that we, 40 or 50 years ago, we trusted. 30 years ago, we trusted. 10 years ago, we trusted. But we just don't trust it anymore, right? Who trusts it anymore? No one trusts it. It's gone to shit. So where do we put our emphasis? Where do we put our trust? What is the real calling here? Like, what are we being asked to do? Are we being asked to create anarchy? Are we being asked to just run away? Like, what are we being asked to do? And, for me, what I feel really strongly that I'm being asked to do is to anchor my own will force, my own alignment into my true Father, my true source of wisdom, my true source of power, which is that which is within me, that which is above me, that which is my center, and that which is my integrity. It's like the birth of personal mystical sovereignty is, I feel like, what's happening right now. And if we don't all come into it, and if we don't all find that alignment, if we can't find that, we all have it within us, right? We all have that within us. And the calling is to disassociate ourselves from the things that we've given our power to and reclaim it for ourselves. It's right inside. It's right here. Like, we all know what is right and wrong. We are a barometer. We have a barometer. Our soul is right there waiting for us to just wake up and listen to it. Right now, right here, right? And to make the right choices. And, you know, all of the people who get this video are they're a conscious community. They're people who understand what I'm talking about. It's like, come into center, come into alignment, and listen to something greater than yourself and pull it in. But pull it in directly from source, not from someone else, not from some other place. Like, when you look to someone else to be the authority figure, it doesn't work, right? It's like it's inauthentic. It's out of integrity. It's just like Martin Luther was saying, only God has the ability to pardon our sins, because nobody knows what's going on except for you and God. That's it. Nobody can read you at a deep level. No one, even the best astrologer, cannot see what's happening inside. Only you can, and only you can take responsibility for it. So that is what I feel like is really happening, is like a reckoning and a need for us to take responsibility for all the places that we've given our power away to some kind of false hierarchy outside of us, and to reclaim it and hold it as sacred, and to trust ourselves and to do the hard work that it takes to stay in alignment. Because it's not easy. It's not like a walk in the park. You don't just make a decision one day, I'm gonna wake up and bring my soul into my body. Like, do you know how hard it is? It takes moment to moment focus. It takes moment to moment articulated choices. Every single day, every moment of every single day, you make a choice. We all do, about where we want to play from and who we want to be and how we want to act. And so whatever place in your chart the Pluto-Saturn alignment is happening in right now, that's the place in your life that you are being asked to make sure that your choices are right for you and in alignment with your highest good. Because the choices you make create your future. They create all of our futures. So where we're choosing to kind of come into that sort of will, awareness of our will, and where we're presenting it, that's just such an incredibly important gift of this time in history. Because we're all going to move forward. 2020 is going to happen. We're all going to start building. This is a Capricorn year. This is a powerful year. We're going to move forward. We're all heading in that direction. This is a moment in our year where we get to hit ground zero. We get to go empty, and we get to start building from something more authentic, more intentional, and hopefully more in alignment with God. And I hate the word God. I'm sorry to use that word. Because it has so many religious connotations and so many undertones, right? What is it that we're coming into alignment with? Well, it's going to be your own understanding of whatever that is, right? But the authority comes from within us. The integrity comes from within us, not from without. And only then, when we're buoyed on that power and that integrity of being an individual and being a spiritually aligned individual, then we can go up into society. We can take a stand for what we know to be right? And we don't get swayed. We don't get pulled. So anyway, that's the Capricorn Pluto stuff that is my opinion. I hope this is clear. I hope it makes sense to you. I just thought it was fascinating that what's coming in is so similar to what happened in the 1500s, in the early 1500s, when this alignment happened before. But anyway, today, full moon and eclipse in Cancer. So there are two things that I wanted to talk about around this, because this is the beginning. Like today is like the pulse. Like we're just getting like 2 days from now on Sunday, we're having the exact alignment for an entire week. Like this whole month, it's crazy making. Look, we're like literally at ground zero right now. So today is a moment where I think two things are happening. Number one, we're anchoring into the feminine, okay? Patriarchy, masculine, Capricorn, all of this stuff. Capricorn is a builder. He's a male, well, he's actually a female archetype, remarkably, but nevertheless, it's a very active archetype. Like it works, it builds, it structures, it goes, it does. It doesn't have a lot of emotion, right? If it is like rampant Capricorn, like Capricorn without emotion, Capricorn without conscience, Capricorn without empathy, Capricorn without Cancer, tends to be the kind of energy that will just build and produce and create and work forever without outstopping simply for the sake of itself, right? And that's where you get like the current corporate ethos and the current economic climate, where all we care about is profit, all we care about is wealth, all we care about is more, 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 more. So, and we've forgotten the feminine, we've forgotten the planet, we've forgotten our children, we've forgotten family, we've forgotten the feminine, we've forgotten to relax. We're so focused on the doing that we've forgotten the being, right? And that's part of as well, part of the climate that's shifting. Like we're stopped, like we have to stop this mad rush to consume, this mad rush to create and consume, because it's killing us. It's literally killing our planet and us as individuals on the planet. So with this full moon and this eclipse, the invitation is to remember why we build, what we're building for, and what is underneath our desire to create. What are we creating from? And the way the feminine and masculine work, I mean, they are the yin yang, right? Has everybody seen the yin yang symbol, where you get like the two halves, the white and the black, and they're equal. The feminine and masculine should always be equal within us. And what's been an issue on the planet for a number of thousand years is that the feminine has been weakened and subjugated to masculine power and dominance. So she's had to work. She's still been there. It's just that she's had to like change her form in order to kind of survive within a very patriarchally dominant structure, right? And so when we've forgotten to open the feminine, when she's unhealthy, when she's not open, when she's not receptive, when she's not feeling, when she's not warm, when she's not nurturing, when she's not whole, then whatever male energy comes out from her is diseased. It's toxic. It's like masculine on fire. You just don't even want to be around it, right? It's kind of scary, actually. It's like when we get war, and we get destruction, and we get rape, and we get all sorts of like a violation of the earth's resources, violation of our own communities, all of this. Nasty. So the point of this day today is to remind us that you can't, you have to have the healthy feminine. You have to have the healthy feminine. This whole year is all with the North Node in Cancer is reminding us that the answer to all of this collapse, all of this chaos that's happening, all of this deconstruction of the archetype of Capricorn, the answer to it collectively is to release the toxicity and to move towards something more whole, more feminine, to feel our feelings and to embrace what matters, that we all have to have a home. This is our home. We live here. This is our earth. This is our home. We have a climate crisis, and our home is burning. Are we going to take responsibility for where we live, for our home, for the womb, for the mother? Do we care about our mother? Do we care about our feminine? So this is the moment. This is today. This is what it's asking us to remember. And I feel, when the energy came in today, I don't know, it's not fun. Like, I'm not feeling very happy today. I'm not feeling easy. I'm not feeling comfortable. It's actually quite angsty, right? Like, I'm feeling a lot of pain. And that's the second thing I wanted to chat with you about, is that, at these times that we're living through, it's not necessarily comfortable. And that the invitation, if we can listen to its call, and if we can heed its advice, we can learn how to understand that the feelings that we feel are there for a reason. They're there as a guide. They're there as a point of re-entry into a sacred vessel, which we may have not been able to access, and which we need to go into. So the pain of the collective is the place where we all have to be able to go in order to hold an open space for healing of our own psyches, of our own subconsciouses, of our own collective conscious, and of the earth itself, right? you know, I get these crazy dreams. Those of you who follow my videos for a while will know this. I get these powerful dreams every once in a while, not, you know, a couple times a year, crazy dreams that are collective. So they're messages that trickle out, that belong to everybody, that are just given. I just tap into them and they come through, and then it's like a message for everybody. And a number of years ago, I had one of these dreams where it was such an interesting dream. It was like I could see the planet. The first part of the dream was understanding the planet, and it was the waterways of the planet. Water represents emotion. I was looking at the tributaries and the rivers and the lakes and the oceans, and I could feel like the stuckness of the energy, like the way that the energy was starting to really build up. And like this was before we started to talk about plastic in the ocean and the, you know, and like all like the microbeads and all. We weren't talking about this yet. This was probably around, maybe 7 years ago. I mean, it was there. I knew it was there. I was always environmentally aware, but in the collective, we weren't discussing this. So in the dream, I could feel the stickiness or the stuckness of her body. And I was aware of how uncomfortable and how disgusting it felt. And then I was shown that our physical bodies correlate to the Earth's body, and that stuckness in her body was exactly the same as the stuckness in our own emotional bodies. And that the work, and then I was shown that as we do the work to go into our emotional bodies, as we do the work to kind of come in and clean the water in our own system, as we clean the water in our own system, there will be immediate impact to the water of the Earth and her system. And I was shown that we are one with her and she is one with us. And as we clean, she cleans. As she clean, we clean. So it's like either you work internally on your own feeling body and your own feminine, or we take a more masculine externalized approach and we work on the external and we work to help. Right? But either way, we're doing something to help, right? We're doing something to heal this issue with the mother. We're doing something to heal our connection to the feminine. So one of the things that I feel is really important today, and this is my invitation to you, or the meditation I'd like to give you, is for you to ask yourself these two questions. Number one, where is home? Where is the geographical coordinate in my own psyche for home? And where does the feminine live in me? Even if you're a male, where does the feminine live in me? What is my connection to the feminine? And then to ask, how can I serve you? How can I best work for your benefit? How can I heal you? How can I use me? And just to open yourself up and just to ask, just make it a question. You don't even have to have an answer. Just make it a question. Just allow yourself to be taken over by it. Allow yourself to receive information about it. Allow yourself to be guided into whatever vision or whatever thought or whatever feeling wants to arise. What is your place in this? What are you doing to help take down the structures where you've given your power away, to realign to some kind of truer source of power and with more integrity, so that you are sovereign in yourself, and then to connect to the feminine and work toward the healing of that energy, the healing and the holding of yourself as a feminine, masculine, whole vehicle, and to the planet. So some of us will be activists, some of us will make changes at work, some of us will talk to our children, some of us will go to a therapist, some of us will go on an ayahuasca journey, some of us will write, some of us will lecture, some of us will teach, some of us will change the smallest habits, some of us will take the bus to work instead of driving our car. I don't know. It's up to you to check in and tap in. But here we stand at 2020, and this is our invitation this month, is to make change. It's to make changes and to stop giving our power away and to start waking up and taking responsibility for this place that we all call home. So today, remember her, and remember her with gratitude and honor, and offer yourself to her. See what happens. Okay. I think that's all I got. I'm going to send this out there. I hope this was useful to you. And as always, if you like this, please make a comment or share it or sign up for my videos online on my website at sarahelisastrology.com and send me a message because I love to hear from you. And yeah, that's it. I'm so grateful that you're there. Thank you for your attention and blessings on this beautiful day. Aho.